I just straddled Nick Jonas like a horse. And, you know, I kind of got situated up there, and I sat there, and he did a couple of push-ups, and I rode Nick Jonas. This is my story on how I rode Nick Jonas and how I hit him below the belt. I'm not proud of it, but it happened. Nick Jonas came in. He's been in. I love Nick. He's a great guy. He's been in here into the studios doing interviews with me forever, from Jonas Brothers on to Solo and whatnot. He comes in for this interview, and this is right after he had filmed the fighting show, the UFC show, whatever that show was called. So he was built up, muscles, you know, all that. So he came in, and we did this interview, and everything was great. After we do an interview, we generally step out, take some press shots and some stuff for social network and whatever, maybe a video or two. That's pretty typical. But so we took a few shots. Then I said, "Hey Nick, let's do something that's a bit out of the norm, something we don't normally do. You have any ideas?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. I will. I was just doing some push-ups the other day, and so was on my back. Why don't you jump on my back?" I'm like, "That's a great idea. Let's do it." So there's a bunch of people around us, and nobody informed me what I was about to do was not the proper way to do it. So I could have used some help. Thanks. But so Nick, gets on the ground, muscles popping. He's in push-up form. And how would you think I should get on his back? Apparently, most people think I should have, kind of side saddled. But I just straddled Nick Jonas like a horse. And I kind of got situated up there, and I sat there, and he did a couple of push-ups, and I rode Nick Jonas. And after I did that, my boss, John Ivy, big shout out to John, he still gives me all kind of crap for it. On a scale from 1 to 10, riding Nick Jonas, I give it a 10. I mean, how many people can say they've rode Nick Jonas? It was before Priyanka, they all got married. Won't go into that. By the way, hello, Priyanka. I've met her before too, but not since she's married Nick. She was a super sweetheart. Hopefully she's not jealous of the fact that I rode her husband back in the day. A few months later, and this all happened within a month or two. A few months later, Nick Jonas is doing a show for us at the Staples Center, here in LA. He was at Staples. I think it was our Jingle Ball, one of our Christmas shows. And I go into, I'm getting there early. I got a bag with a MacBook in it, and I got clothes here for a change and whatnot. And I go into Staples, and and I hear a voice, "Hey JoJo!" And I look up, and it's Nick, and I'm happy to see Nick. He seems to be happy to see me. I go to give Nick the, I guess you call it the bro hug. Hands like there, you kind of lean in and give the back tap. Seems harmless, right? As I'm doing that, as he's leaning in and I'm, giving him the pat, my bag, I have a bag, like I said, with the MacBook. It was full of stuff too. MacBook, batteries, cords. It swings, and I don't want to be too all, graphic. It swings and hits him right in the, and I was, Nick hit the ground. He was on the ground just like, his eyes were just watering. I was like, "Oh my God, Nick, I'm sorry. Oh my God." And then I turned to the, I looked to the side here, and like, "Oh, hey, Demi Lovato," who was standing right there too. Like, oh my God. And granted, I'd known them both for a little bit, so it wasn't like a shock to see them. It was just a shock to see them as I'd hit Nick Jonas right in the pills. Demi Lovato's reaction. I assume she saw the whole thing. I was talking to Nick, and I didn't, I was trying to stay out of her business, but she was probably talking to somebody else too. But I'm sure she saw it. I mean, how could she not? She was right there. Her reaction was just probably the same as everyone else's. Like, "Oh my God, are you okay? JoJo, what'd you do?" He eventually gets up and recovers a little bit from this. He probably, who knows what he called me behind the scenes. I love Nick, but he has full right to yell at me because I didn't mean to do it, but I did. Later on during interviews, backstage interviews at our Jingle Ball, we were laughing so hard about this. I can't believe I hit him right there, put him on the ground. It was just awful. There's another thing that happened a third thing that happened shortly after that, but it was more or less, it's not funny though. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't even tell you this, but he was having a number one, he was celebrating his number one chart position with, Nick was celebrating his song Jealous being number one, and it was happening at the Palms restaurant in Beverly Hills, kind of like it's an outdoor restaurant. And the paparazzi, they're known to come up right to the fence there. I mean, there's a table of people eat right here, a fence, paparazzi. It's just, there's no wall to guard off the paparazzi. To guard off, is that the right word? There's no wall to block off paparazzi. And that's one of the reasons why people go there, to be quite honest. But Nick's having his number one celebration. And I'm sitting at this table having lunch or drinks with Sissany and her husband. And Nick goes to say something to the paparazzi, and he makes a joke to the paparazzi, refers to me, and he's waiting for my little response to him, and I didn't even hear him. So he always jokes that I totally ghosted him, made him look like an idiot in front of the paparazzi as he's cracking this joke. So I guess to him, I kind of dogged him 3 times, where in my eyes I only dogged him twice, because I didn't know he was saying anything to me in the first place. So all this happened within a couple of months, and it is just the funniest comedy of errors that I think I've ever had with any artist. Those are my stories. I swear they're all true. Nick, I'm sorry about hitting you in the and I promise not to ride you anymore, I think.